Hello and welcome to Louise Singleton Creations. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you that Aqua Cast water-based eco resin is useful for more things than just making candle jars, coasters and ornaments. Today, Aqua Cast is going into the kitchen to make colourful and very useful egg trays. If that sounds like fun, stay tuned and enjoy the video. Let's have a little close-up of the moulds. Just look how soft and thick and heavy they are. You can tell just by looking at them what great quality they are. And that's no surprise. They always are good quality from Boo and Nicole. So before using any new mould, you need to know the volume of the mould so you know how much material to mix. And normally I would put the mould onto the scales, fill it with water and weigh that water. But as you can see, that's not going to happen with this large mould. But I see that as a good thing because it gives me the opportunity to demonstrate to you how I find the volume of moulds which are just too large to fit onto my weighing scales, and it's very easy. The first step is to fill a jug or a bottle with water and pop it on your weighing scales. When you get the weight of it, take note of it on a scrap of paper. And then you can get rid of your scales for a moment because you don't need them anymore. Now you need your mould, and I like to put my mould on a tray so that any spilt water can easily be taken away to the sink. Next, with the same bottle of water, fill your mould right up to the top. Get your scales back and weigh the bottle again, and then take note of the weight that it is now. Subtract your new weight from the original weight, and then you have the volume of your mould. To fill my mould today, I'm using Aqua Cast water-based eco resin from Elichem Resins, or Laura's Art Corner if you're in the USA. You purchase Aqua Cast as a powder. You don't purchase a liquid with this one. You just mix it with water at home. But you will need to know how much water and how much powder you will need. And that is where the online calculator comes in. All you need to do is go onto the Elichem Resins website and find the page, the Aqua Cast page that you want. So there's the Aqua Cast I want to use today, and then if you scroll down you will see there is a calculator. Here you can input the volume of water in grams which you have just found out, and it tells you exactly how much powder and water you will need, and that's how simple it is. Write it down and keep it handy for next time you use the mould. And I repeated that process for my other two moulds, but with the other two I could put them directly onto the scales because they weren't too big for the scales, so they were nice and easy to find the volume of. I hope that was useful to you. Let's get on with the creative part. Here you can see I'm measuring out my water and then my powder into a large silicone jug. I've already chosen my colours. I'm going for apricot and vivid orange. I like the vivid orange because if you just use a bit of it, you get a lovely warm yellow. And I wanted orange and yellow because my mum is going through an orange phase. She goes through colour phases. It's usually green. But at the moment, everything's got to be orange, and I'm making this one for Mum. So, yeah, it's going to be orange, and that fits well, doesn't it, with the egg theme? So, yeah, hopefully it will look good. So I'm waffling now. Here's the powder going in, and it looks like loads, doesn't it? It is actually quite a lot, but it mixes in very, very easily. And yes, I've sped it up because you don't need to see it in real time. You'll just have to trust me when I say it didn't take long, maybe about a minute. Wouldn't it be good if we could fast forward our bodies in real life and go that fast when we wanted to? With the Aquacast mixed, it was time to add the pigments. I added a little bit of the vivid orange on one side and some of the apricot on the other side, and gave each spot a little bit of a mix, but not too much. I wanted white in there as well to, fit in with the egg theme. I didn't want to mix everything thoroughly together. I wanted to get little bits of the white, the yellow and the orange in hopefully a marble kind of effect. And then all I needed to do was pour it in, and I didn't do anything fancy. I went for the quick option and just poured it all in kind of one go, but not quite one go, because what you need to do is give it a really good bang and a tap to make sure it's all settled down there and to get any air bubbles to rise to the top. So that's what I'm doing there. I always leave a little bit in the jug and top it up at the end. Otherwise, when you're doing this, you get splattered with Aquacast, and we don't want that, do we? So then I left it for about an hour and it was ready to take out of the mould. Let's see how this first one turned out. And there we have it. I quite like the way the pattern turned out. I think I would have liked a little bit more white in there. Maybe I added a bit too much pigment, but still I like it and I think Mum will like that too. So let's do another colour and another mould. This time I'm going to use the 4 egg mould, and I've decided to add some Green Meadows glass glitter to the mould before, sorry, my dog's sneezing in the background. Anyway, yeah, I've decided to add some green glitter to the mould before the Aquacast, and I was hoping that would have a really nice effect. It didn't actually have the effect I was going for, but you'll see soon. It did turn out quite good nonetheless. I adore the colour of this glass glitter and I just couldn't wait to have a go with it. Here you can see I'm just spreading it around a little bit with the brush before applying the Aquacast into the mould. With the mould all prepared, I mixed my powder and water again, just in the same way as before. But this time I made enough for 2 moulds. I wanted to do the 4 egg mould and the 1 egg mould. And so I added my figures together and made enough for both. My plan was to use the single egg holder as an egg cup, which I'm guessing is what it's designed for, and so it needed to be food safe. Aquacast is food safe as long as you don't add any pigments which are not food safe. As long, if you added something like food colouring, I'm sure that would be fine. But yeah, I kept it white because I wanted it to be completely food safe. Now for the other one, I wasn't too worried because the eggs are in the shells and I can't see an issue with that. This time I'm using avocado green for my 4 egg holder. I added the Aquacast very carefully over the lumps in the mould so they flowed down onto the glitter rather than, causing any pressure to move the glitter around, if I poured it directly onto the glitter. Does that make sense? I don't know. But anyway, there was a method and a reason for the way I poured it. But then that kind of went out the window because then I started tapping the sides and bashing at the table to get rid of the bubbles, completely forgetting that by doing that, the Aquacast will most probably flow through the glass glitter to the surface of the mould, thereby losing the glitter. So, never mind. Right then, I had some Aquacast left and I didn't want to waste it. And I'd seen online, I think it was Mrs. Collarberry did this. So it's her idea probably, or I don't know, she might have got the idea from somewhere else, but this is where I got the idea. It's like a document bag that you put in a clip binder, and I'm putting my Aqua Cast into there, and then when it's all emptied in, I can smooth it down with my hands and leave it to cure. And then afterwards, when it was cured, I could break it all up, and then I had lots of terrazzo chips for a future project. Right, let's demould my final 2 egg trays and see what happened. So, funnily enough, it's typical, really typical. The simplest one is my favourite. I absolutely love this white one, and I love it just to use as an egg cup. It's perfect. And let's have a look at the 4 egg one. So I'm absolutely certain that you will be able to imagine my disappointment when this came out of the mould. Because you probably feel quite disappointed yourself. That's got to be the most uneventful demoulding you've ever seen. However, it's not the end of the world. There is a solution. Out came my sanding block, and first of all I decided to just keep it horizontal and sand the uppermost area to see how that would look. And what happened was I got like 4 rings of sparkliness, and I liked that. I was surprised that it was not green. I think by sanding it, what happened was I lost the green, which was originally on the glass glitter. I'm guessing the glass glitter must be coloured, like dyed after, I don't know, after being made into glass glitter. I'm not sure how it works, but anyway, the colour just came off as I sanded it. And it was still sparkly, just not green, which was such a shame because I'm really in love with the colour of that glass glitter. But anyway, as I'm waffling, you can see it coming to life, can't you? Those 4 sparkly rings. And I did quite like it, just like that. But I just couldn't leave it alone. And I just had to carry on and see what would happen if I went around the edges a little bit as well. In the end, I realised I'd preferred it before doing that, but it doesn't matter. You learn as you go along, don't you? If you don't try, you don't know. That's one of my phrases that I'm always saying. Let's just move on to sealing the 3 finished pieces, and then we'll get a better look at them all, won't we? I'm using Clark's wax for stone and concrete, which I do like to use quite a lot with Aqua Cast. The reason I'm using this one today is mainly for the white egg cup that I was talking about before, because I wanted it to be food safe. Well, this wax is food safe, and so that's why I chose to use it. I thought I might as well use the same thing for all of them. It also intensifies the colour as well, and I thought that wouldn't harm these to, darken the colour up a bit. I thought it would help with the finished look. And so here I am just applying it with a microfiber cloth. It did take quite a while to get into all the nooks and crannies, so I will fast forward now and go on to the green one. And you can see with the completed orange one to the left how much more vivid it is now. If you don't want your colours to be darker and you just want to seal it without altering the colour, I would recommend using Hydroflow Sealer from Elichem resins, which is a liquid sealant. And now, as I'm applying the wax to the green one, you can really see it starting to come to life. Thank goodness, because I was a little bit worried about that one for a while. As you can see, also, I haven't done anything to the base yet. I'm not sealing the base, and that was because I want to cover the bases with cork, and I'm waiting for some to arrive. Actually, I had to order some more. I'd run out, so I won't be showing that part today. You'll have to imagine cork on the bottoms of these, and it does make a big difference. But yeah, that looks a lot better, doesn't it, already? Let's have a look at the white one. So with this one, you probably can't actually see much difference at all. but it did make a lot of difference to give it that slight sheen and smoothness with the wax. And honestly, this one, you just want to feel all the curves of it. It's so touchy-feely. I really do love this one. And it doesn't have to be, you know, as an egg holder. You could use it to put your wedding ring in, or, you know, next to your sink for when you're washing up. I don't know, it could be a good ring holder, couldn't it? It's quite cute for that. What else? Earrings. Or you could even use these egg trays for spices and things, couldn't you? Or in your craft room for different glitters, but then I suppose you'd need it covering up. I don't know. Maybe you've got some ideas of what you could use these for other than holding eggs. If you've got some ideas, just leave them in the comments and we can share our ideas and see what we come up with. So if you're interested in the moulds that I've used today or the Aqua Cast, please have a look in my video description for the links and discount codes. Before I leave you, I just wanted to show you it with some eggs in. I was getting a little bit frustrated with the eggs, like you do, because they weren't proper egg shaped. They weren't wide at the bottom and pointy at the top. They were like just oval. I thought the chickens were quite inconsiderate, I've got to say, and it it messed up my display. But anyway, it's all right, isn't it? They work and they hold the eggs nicely, and I'm pleased with the finished result. If you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to. So that's it for today. I think we've covered everything. So I will say goodbye for now. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.